Hey Matt,
Hey, is that good enough? Is my steering wheel in the way?
it's up to you. I think it looks fine.
All right.
Thank you so much for making time. I really appreciate you.
All right. Sorry.
No, you're good. You're safe. You're where you're sitting right now.
Oh yeah, I'm at a gas station. See in the window.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
adver-
I see
I'm advertising for Circle K.
it. Well, Matt, I'm just letting you know I'm recording.
Okay.
Just say and spell your first and last name and your title, please.
Matthew Dennis, Matthew Dennis, and I am the co-founder of the Assured Supervision Accountability Program.
Do you want me to call you Matt or Matthew?
Matt is fine.
Okay. Matt, talk to me about your company's experience with the currently escaped inmate Antoine Massey.
In November of 2023, Antoine Massey was ordered into our ankle monitor program, and he was placed on ankle monitor. And 2 very short hours later, he cut his ankle monitor off. Um, Within just a few hours, we were able to capture him and put him back in jail. And that really ends the history of him with us.
What was to know that he escaped now from the jail after a history of escaping? What are your thoughts?
Well, I mean, it's always easy to second guess anything like this. I mean, but the truth is, Antoine Massey didn't just escape my ankle monitor. We received him after escaping an ankle monitor. We were warned. And then, of course, prior to that, he escaped the Morehouse Parish Detention Center. And then prior to that, he escaped a juvenile detention center. So this is escape number 5 for Antoine Massey. And at one point, you kind of have to ask yourself, I mean, it's not about his charges, but it's certainly about that history. And that history is one of escape, a lot of escapes. So I think Antoine, clearly is a walking billboard for, what you should do to properly manage your inmate population. And I believe that Antoine Massey probably wasn't handled properly.
You know, there is speculation that he could have been the mastermind behind this great escape. Is that surprising to you?
I can say, yeah, I can say that there's two scams. There's two things that are going on at the same time in Orleans Parish. There is a ankle monitoring scam that in the weeks before the escape, we were working with local law enforcement, the DA's office, the Orleans Parish Sheriff's Office, but we're also working with Tangipahoa and Washington Parish because the scam has reached all the way up to there. And it has to do with families of people being arrested, being called and scammed out of thousands of dollars. When, this is something we're working on all the way up until the day before the escape. It is our belief that whoever was doing the ankle monitoring scam is inside the Orleans Parish Jail. It was our belief that it had to have somebody that works there involved, and quite possibly some inmates involved. And it's my belief at this time that these two are probably connected. If the ankle monitoring scam is not part of the escape, then the problems at the Orleans Parish Jail are much deeper than people realize. That we have more than one bad apple, or the ankle monitoring scam and the escape are connected.
What are your thoughts then in knowing that Antoine Massey has a history of escape, that he was kept on the first tier or the first level of the Orleans Parish Jail?
Again, I have, as an ankle monitoring provider, I run a digital jail. I don't have the luxury of 4 walls. The sheriff, she has to keep the people inside of 4 walls and have them behave inside of those 4 walls. I don't have those 4 walls. I only have, mine get to go out and move around our community, but I still have to make them behave. So I have to make decisions based on what I know. And sometimes that means I might need a little bit more robust ankle monitor, maybe a little less security because it's not someone that's a high risk. A high risk would be somebody that I know might escape, or somebody that I know might go after a victim, and I need to have the right victim protection in place. So whoever I have coming into my digital jail, I have to screen them, and I have to assess their risk for different things. And then I have to apply my resources accordingly. If you're going to run a brick and mortar jail with 4 walls, I'm not sure that the first floor is where you should keep very dangerous people or people that know how to escape. I don't think that you should keep them on a tier or in a pod where there's no live deputies walking around. I don't think you should have them supervised by a person who will leave her station and go to lunch, and you don't have anybody to replace that person. So if you have camera operators that are leaving to go eat and nobody replacing them, this isn't where I would have put my high risk people. I would have put my high risk people way up on the top floor. People that are known to escape, or people that you certainly don't want to escape. I wouldn't give them ground floor access. So, I don't want to second guess the sheriff, but as a person who runs a jail, a very large jail, we have a lot of people, and I don't have lower risk people than her. In fact, Antoine Massey was once in my program and he escaped. So, we have people accused of murder. We have people accused of rape in our program, and we have to pay attention to how we bring them in and how we supervise them. And I believe that the decisions that have been made inside that jail as it relates to not just Massey, but the other people on that floor probably weren't really wise. I don't know of any other corrections group that's agreeing with the way they've handled these inmates. I'm sorry.
Matt, in your program, how many current people do you have being monitored right now?
We're just shy of 400 in Orleans Parish alone. And if you think
Wow.
about that, if you think about you have a jail that the sheriff runs, it's got 1,200. I got a third of that in my jail, and our inmates are the same. I don't have less risk. I don't have anybody in my program that's not low risk, nonviolent first time offenders. These are all repeat offenders that are either violent or high risk. And one would say, well, why are they on an ankle monitor? Well, you don't have any room in your jail. You tore the jail down, which is why we had to build a digital jail. So, with the lack of space we've got to use our resources properly, and maintaining your inmate population is important in Orleans. And, high risk people don't belong unsupervised. I'm sorry, I have to supervise. I don't have the pleasure of being able to deny and distract. I don't get to blame other people. If they escape my program, it's my responsibility. I need to go find them. And then I need to find out how they escaped. Antoine Massey doesn't belong on an ankle monitor. Antoine Massey doesn't belong on the first floor of an unsupervised pod. He just doesn't.
What year was it that he escaped your program,
It's
Matt?
November 2023. We caught him the very same day.
And where was he when you caught him?
In the city. He didn't get far. I don't want to say how we caught him. I don't want him to watch this
Oh, no,
and go
that's
after
okay.
that person. We caught him
No,
quickly.
that's okay. That's okay. And was he on an ankle monitor before that? Was that
He was.
twice?
We had received him with a warning that he had escaped an ankle monitor before. Now, we asked the question, why would you put him on another one? Why would you put him on another one? And I'm sorry, I'm watching two cars hit each other. Sorry. It's the world we live in. And now the car's going to back up and hit somebody else. Anyway, so
Oh, God.
yeah, we were warned when he came into our program that he had escaped another ankle monitor. Our natural question is, I wonder how long he stays on ours. And he was only on it for 2 hours. So, he had no intention at all of being on an ankle monitor.
And both those people, both ankle monitor requests were from Orleans Parish.
I don't know that. I don't know that answer.
Okay, that's
I
okay.
assume. I don't think so because we weren't the provider originally. So I don't know who he cut it off for or where it was out of. It may very well have been Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't. It's November of 23. So
That's all right. That's all right. I can ask the DA.
yeah, I don't
But
know.
so
That
he
answer.
escaped. He escaped in 2007 from what was then the Youth Study Center. Then he escaped in 2019, which is the time he ended up in Texas.
Yeah,
Is that right?
that's Morehouse Parish.
Yeah. And then he escaped one ankle monitor and then another ankle monitor and then this time.
And then this escape.
Oh, wow. I thought it was only 3 times he escaped.
No, this is his official fifth time. And look, I have another question. My other question is, in 23 when he escaped us, we were able to press the charge of tampering with an electronic monitoring device. We can also press the charge of simple escape. Why hasn't the DA done that? He escaped from an ankle monitor. He was put back in jail and surrendered on his bond for escaping an ankle monitor. It's the DA's job to take that charge. Now, in 2023, the DA needed to do it. In 2024, because of the way we had problems applying that charge, we went to Baton Rouge and changed the law. And we made it to where we can apply a simple escape charge, 14110. 14110.2 is tampering with an electronic monitoring device. The problem that we had back in 2023 is if an Orleans Parish judge ordered the ankle monitor and the defendant cut it off in Jefferson Parish, I had to go to the scene of where he cut it off and file a criminal complaint with Jefferson. Jefferson's got to take a complaint for cut off ankle monitor, but Orleans is the one to put him on the ankle monitor. Jefferson doesn't even understand why they're prosecuting a cut off ankle monitor when they don't have an ankle monitor. So we worked with Representative Muscarella to pass a bill to change the language of the law that says if an Orleans ankle monitor cuts it off in Timbuktu, you can file a complaint in Orleans where the monitor was ordered. And that made it a lot easier for us. So Jason, as the DA, should have filed a charge of simple escape. It's a felony. And the tamper with an electronic monitoring device. Today, we do it ourselves. But in
Okay.
23, I needed Jason to do it. And Jason needed to do it. And I'm going to give you one more thing on that. You know, we had an individual that was on ankle monitor around the same time, and he was wrapping it in tinfoil. And we did put the charge of tampering. And the Orleans Parish judge, during a judge trial, threw the case out, saying that she didn't feel the man understood that he wasn't allowed to do that. That was the most horrific. I cannot believe that judge did that. This man was caught. We had video and audio evidence. We had picture evidence. He admitted to doing it. He even admitted he knew it was wrong. And the judge was just being a jerk. And this doesn't work if we don't all work together. I need the judges to enforce their orders. I need the DA to hold people accountable when they break the rules. We need to have access to filing the criminal complaints. So, you know, Antoine Massey should be facing an escape charge right now. If he had that escape charge on him, would that have changed the way the sheriff would have processed him into her jail? Would she have treated him differently, or would she have still left him on that first floor? So, you know, as much as I want to say it's just the sheriff, maybe she didn't know he's an escape artist.
I don't know. That's a very good point. That's a very good point. Do you know that first escape? You don't know where that happened from then?
It's
If it
juvenile.
was
We have reached out to some people that we know that do a lot of juvenile work, and we've asked for them to try to figure that out. We know that it was a
yeah.
juvenile escape. His very first escape was in a juvenile escape. Look, Massey's a walking billboard for proper maintenance of your population. This guy does not belong in low risk. He is a high risk inmate, no matter what his charges are.
Yeah. All right. So he's 5 times he's escaped. I didn't know about the 2 ankle monitoring cutoffs.
Yep. And I sent you the link from when we captured him.
Yes. Can I use that picture?
Yeah, that picture, just so you know, we took that picture at the jail. We do that to prove we didn't beat people up.
Oh, okay.
That's
Makes sense.
him at the jail. He's standing in front of the little placard inside the intake booking section. We take that right on our way out the door. So that's post capture. We captured him, and that's the picture he took.
All right. And I'm allowed to use that in my story tonight?
Absolutely.
Okay. I mean, Matt, that's all my questions. Is there anything that I forgot to ask you?
Nope.
That's it. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you making time.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Drive safely.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.